Will the live stream be like on YouTube or something?
It might be, but we can't guarantee it as long as we got to call you then. 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 We got to call you then.
We just have like anxiety attacks. We just have a lot of confidence. Yes, which you were not supposed to get. Should I listen to,
Yeah, she was killing me the whole way.
Yeah.
I told her I was drinking all the coffee.
It's all right, everyone. We're going to start now. Not too behind schedule. Wait, so do we have all the artists here? Okay. Put your hand up if you are one. Oh, my name's Aisha, by the way.
Oh, yeah. My name's Anas.
Sure, everyone knows Anas.
No, not everyone knows me. So I am the president of Keeping It Halal, a founder as well as a writer. And Aisha is...
Oh, I just do promotion.
So with our first...
Yeah, I think we should have the first guy come out.
Alright, so our first performance of the night will be from Yousuf Faroqi. He's 21 years of age, all the way from Ryerson, studying engineering. He does Afghan poetry, Islamic poetry, and just poetry in general. He's placed second at Miss Toronto and has performed at various events around Toronto. He does a lot of community events and Afghan events. Can we get a big hand for Yousuf Faroqi?
Thanks for putting me on the spot, Anas. You never even told me I was going first. Okay, so I want to thank Keeping It Halal for inviting me tonight. As Anas said, I've been writing for a long time, but I wasn't too successful in the beginning, and I'm still not too successful, but I still write because I like to write. The first piece that I'll be performing tonight is called On the Fall. The season had once again changed. The valley, though, remains beautiful. Yellowish leaves, fall has come, colder than usual, warning us of a cold winter. Shorts were put off and light jackets on. Toronto, though, remains live and beautiful, and the ones who guard their eyes were happy again. Everyone now wears modest clothes, scarves all around, and long coats soon. Depression had come to students. It is now midterm season, and the friends cut down on their chilling, and the competition begins again in traffic jams and subway inconveniences. And here I am, riding on the Thorncliffe Bridge on a Sunday, and the Donald's bus to Ryerson. Last minute studies, worry not, I have my PhD in procrastination now. No complaints though, life is as beautiful as it can be. The stocks have been on the fall, and the same with liberals. Conservatives is not majority, McGuinty though still remains. Leaves continue to fall, road to the Stanley Cup filled with obstacles. Their hopes though remain high. Peace is on the fall, stability of the world on the fall. Love though still remains. It finds its way around every single darkness, and whoever hangs on to it wins and escapes the fall of happiness. Thank you.
I wish I could write a Markham like that. Okay. So the next person that we have is Wordplay Saleh. He's 19 years old and a human rights and equity studies major. Born and raised in Canada, he is of Omani descent. He is inspired by, this is really bad, Mostef. Okay. Talent, Probably, Public Enemy, and many other legends. Spoken word. Did someone say something? No. Okay. Spoken word first began as a means of getting through hard times in high school. Besides from school, Ahmed Saleh is CEO and founder of Saleh Enterprise, a multimedia graphic design and marketing firm. He is a GT representative at York MSA. He wishes to become a social justice lawyer and keeping his position as CEO at the Saleh Enterprise. Give it up for Wordplay Saleh.
Alright, this poem, spoken word piece, is called Mistress. Remember Flanders Field, red poppy, draft copy. Remember the veterans that fought for the better men. Remember the Jews in the World War II blues. We win, they lose. Those Nazi fools, we cruise. Rolls Royce. Democracy cracks a piece of Nazi. To grant us some peace is voting, standing for the national anthem. Remember those who died for us and them. Remember their bravery and their honor. I am Canadian. At least that's what they told me in school. I am Canadian. Which means to remember is to forget, which means to remember is to forget, which means to remember is to forget. Japanese concentration camps like Jews, they got stamped. Forget how they got hated, discriminated, forget how they got hacked, jacked, and robbed, forget how the Canadian government stated, reinstated, gold-plated War Measures Act. Forget Hiroshima and Nagasaki, punching out Japanese cities like Rocky, and remember that America didn't forgive Japan even though Japan surrendered, so they copied. Forget that it was the poor man's blood and rich man's war. Forget that it was the economic elite pulling in paper called cash flood. Forget that they put commies in prison, so I said, listen. You said you remember. I said, homie, you did remember. You got amnesia. They said I'm not Canadian when I spit this, but bro, this is the truth. Use litmus. They said you dissed this, you missed this, but bro, history is my mistress. I love her, and I never let her go, even though she dirty and she full of lies. She tell me about all the despise. I can't get enough. She makes the smoothest edges rough. She flirts and tells me all the dirt about the forgotten history that's so subvert. She kills me softly, few G, live on the same on the side of my mouth side. Tell me more facts, ooh la la, mashallah. Tell me more, shut door, but he ignores. Cause see, he ain't down like that. He be rocking the British crown like that. See, he tried to forget the past, but the past will forget him. His name is Canada. He goes CB24, he celebrate the war, I try to tell him that, this relationship ain't going that well. I tell him, if you face the history, you can have a beautiful kid, you can call the future. But damn, homie, you ain't down. You still high, addicted on the poppy, but it's cool. It's cool, yo. Because I'm still high and addicted on my mistress. So remember that on Remembrance Day. Peace.
So we're gonna get Osama Siddique to come up next. It's really funny because I've known Osama since he was like a little tiny kid. Now he has this huge beard. So I'm really excited to have him come up. Okay. So he's a 16-year-old poet from Markham, Ontario. Poetry is a means through which he linguistically expresses his thoughts and opinions on certain topics he feels need to be addressed. And he started writing poetry at a young age and has grown up as a spoken word artist.
Give it up for Osama! Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so the piece that I'll be performing is called War. Can you imagine a world where violence was never the answer, where the streets were clean of drug thugs and gangbangers? Can you imagine a world where aggression was solved by the suppression of anger, never resulting to the point of being handcuffed and thrown in the hanger? Can you imagine a world
where bystanders wouldn't just stand there and watch while innocent people were getting shot. Can you imagine mayhem being struck in a country that can't afford clean water? Can you imagine losing a son or daughter, mother or father because someone carelessly pulled the trigger? Can you imagine the tears of a Palestinian kid having to watch his parents die in the midst of bullets falling from the sky, but a kid like that never cries. Instead, he bleeds from his eyes with pain permanently engraved in his pupil, his brain shell-shocked. He's an orphan. A rebel carrying a pouch full of pebbles, promising to himself that if he sees another tank, he's gonna stone it to the ground. He lives in a place that's never safe and never sound, so he never sleeps. Terrified that the gunshots in his nightmares might pierce through his skull, so he prays during days that are dull. Prays that his dirt-filled skies become blue. Can you imagine what would happen if his wishes came true? If peace substituted for war, and war no longer existed, if the system wasn't twisted and you wouldn't get convicted for speaking the truth, where we didn't need to hide from our own shadows, congregated in dark corners where the sun wouldn't spot us. See, that's how afraid we become, convinced that we're the ones disturbing the peace. They tell us they want world peace. But what they really mean is that they want the world in pieces, segregated as the death rate increases, stacking lies on top of lies until their towers touch the sky. These cowards in disguise hide behind unfulfilled promises. Promising a better future, trying to manipulate our consciences, chaining down our brains, making us their psychological hostages. You see, they control what we think, make us forget about these kids like this Palestinian kid who's afraid he's gonna die, so he shuts his eyes, covers his ears, and pretends he's invisible, wrapped up in a blanket that he hopes is invincible. Little does he know that bullets can penetrate through cloth, skin, and bone, but don't worry, because it can never pierce a heart made of gold and a soul as pure as the driven snow. Thank you.
Are you guys enjoying the show so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it? No enthusiasm?
Yeah.
Next, we're going to have Fathima. She's a second-year student at UFP. Is majoring in philosophy and minoring in religion. We get a big hand for Fathima.
Hello? Yeah, okay. Okay, so, yes, my name is Fathima, and this is a poem that I have written and will recite to y'all. It is under the title, The Sound. You're skipping through a park one fine afternoon, whistling a tune you make up along the way. Cherry blossoms sprinkled over the grass from the sky. The soaring chickadees ask your melody from up high. You leap over the stream of water and let it sing along. Now it's a duet. And as the trees lift their arms, now it's a dance. You twirl along the field so that every arm can lift you over the horizon concealed. There's so much movement, so much life, Allah's beauty projected in every spirit. Allah, Al-Khaliq, Al-Musawwir, Al-Muhyi, Allah's magnificence arrests you from describing so freely. What I feel, my Lord, you say, Allah, I feel so, oh my Allah, Allah, Allah. You repeat the name numerous times, but the sound means nothing to you. No more chimes accompany the word. But it's just a word, right? A name only functions as a sign of something signified, right? Just because you can't hear yourself speak Allah, are you to reject the voyages you were in, what you just saw? A looming shadow suddenly occupies the park. Your voice has moisture, but lips dry. Whistling can't help your fear. The petals of the blossoms shrivel and turn gray. The black-capped chickadees flutter for seconds, then die and sway. In the thick, impenetrable darkness of evil, you think, of misguidance, of sin, of blasphemy, the once harmonious trickling of the stream rises in fury. The same arms that carried you now place you before juries. It's time to open up your files, thoroughly examine your motive, your intent, and foresight during this event of doubt. Drowning in your perspiration, fear absorbing your face. Inhaling deeply, you exert anxiety all around your space. You. Your own air, breathed out of your own self, intoxicates, disorients, puzzles, stupefies your reason. The heavy, obscure mass of clouds blasts right at you, aggressively handles you, spins you. And you're set in motion to spiral around your own body. The gyration presenting hundreds of images, all of them you. All of them with a look of terror, daze, helplessness. But I'm not alone, you think. I am not alone. Before the last strand of sand passes through, you need to unclog this vortex so that you can dry yourself up and rid your wet towel soaked in human confusion over linguistic expressions. Yes, it's true. This is your confession. You want to evoke, you will proclaim Allah, ears devouring over the sound of Allah and not the sound of your own voice.
Asim spelled S-E-N-S-E. You specifically posted it up. Okay, so Ahmed, who goes by the stage name Essence, is a 19-year-old who attends York University. He is part of an organization called Unity, which uses the concept of hip-hop away from violence. Branching off of Unity, he is part of a generation, one of youths to come together last year to create a group called Uni Effect. Which,
It's okay. Unifem.
Whoa, the heck? No, which focuses on spoken word through the resources of Unity and other resources they establish on their own. He is still involved with Unifem this year and will continue to try to make a difference in the community with spoken word. So today he's going to be performing Am I a Terrorist? I'm so sorry for butchering.
Big hand for Halal. So you're probably wondering, what's he doing up there? He's not a poet, there's no way, look at him. He's just another teenager who's trying to fit in with everybody else, another slumdog millionaire. Just another brown man with some facial hair, but because he's from the southeast, I'll pass it off as a beard. You know what I want you to do? I want you to picture us at an airport together. Would you be worried if you saw me? You say no now, but I know what goes on through your head. Don't you dare think I don't hear the little whispers, all the evil eye you guys give me. All of you look like Lucifer with the all-seeing eye, but see, I got a third eye. I don't need these two to vision this. I see through these lines everybody tries to read. They all poke me down like I'm just a plant and they're all seeds. But believe me, I will shine through all of you with the power of photosynthesis. But whatever the business is, I got God as my witness. Let's just get straight to the point. Don't try to converse with me, trying to work your magic to see if I am truly who the media depicts me to be. Go ahead, ask me. I know you're wondering whether or not I'm a terrorist. Or you said what? Yeah, your mouth didn't move, but I read your eyes and your mind. Ask me one more time. Am I a terrorist? Yes, I am. But I don't drop bombs on buildings. I drop bombs of knowledge so wisdom can explode on this battlefield of mics. Well, you ask me right away, or you take your time, ponder the thought, and if you should really say what goes on through that brain, as if your opinion really matters, listen up, cowards. Speak up instead of the chit-chatter. My people have been targeted for far too long. Every day dozens die, but we never make it to the 6 p.m. show. Instead, mothers have to bury their children in a 6 p.m. pose. Siblings are stranded to take care of the little ones. And here we are cheering our troops made it home safely, so we won. But the sad reality is that all of you need a reality check. Something like Nike. I wish I could just check mark all the boxes that apply and I'd totally make sure I tick off terrorists as my occupation. Just to satisfy you. Would you like that? After all your accusations for them to all finally come true, what would you really do if I was one of them?
Would you call 911 and report me to the same people who killed thousands of innocent civilians in countries no one cares about? Would you take your gun out and shoot me and become the same label you place on me, a murderer? Or would you just simply greet me with a, hello, how do you do?
Hello, how do you do?
Don't you understand? I'm exactly the same person that you claim to be. It's as if we live in the same world but with a boundary. I could only wish you would see the world from my side. You know what? I want you to come on and take a step over the border. I don't even want your immigration papers. Oh, you're a refugee? No problem, I accept all. Whether you're too scared to learn the truth or you're too worried that you're wrong, I still live in a world of peace. You cannot stop me because my people may be accused of blowing things up, but that is in no comparison to the amount of lives you guys blow up out of proportion. So you ask, am I a terrorist? Yes, I am. But that should be the least of your worries. Peace.
We'll have Suhaib Abbasi. Just to refresh your memory, he is a 21-year-old machine artist. He uses no instruments in his album at all. His first album was called Crew Member, and he's working on the second album and looking for poets.
He's also performed at RAS, Sewing Foundation, and other locations around town, right? Okay.
And the bio you heard of Suhaib was written by Radia Coker for our website, keepingithalal.com.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. So, I was here, how many years ago was it? The UFT event? 2, 3?
2 years ago.
So I was working on my album, on my first album that time, and I did a track from my first album. It was just a demo track. So now, mashallah, alhamdulillah, I released in March 2010, and ever since it's been really amazing. And now, I ask all of you to make dua, inshallah, for me to make my second album, and may Allah make it a success. So I'll start with a track which is the title track of my nasheed, for my nasheed album. It's called To Remember. Bismillah ar-Rahman. In the stillness of the night, not a sound, not a light, but the light of Allah fills my heart, shines so bright, and I know it's time to rise, to wash my weary eyes, to remember the one who gave me life, to remember the one who taught me right from wrong, to remember all the times He's sheltered me, to remember Allah faithfully. In the chaos of the day, how quickly time slips away, trying hard to keep the pace with life's impatient race. How easy to be led astray if I don't make the time each day to remember the one who is the light, to remember the one who forgives despite my flaws. I will remember my loving Lord, the praiseworthy. I will remember Allah gratefully. In the wake of tragedy, it's only natural for me to seek Allah to ease my pain when my world seems so insane. But when my heart is filled with joy and my mind is clear, I am content. I still must draw near to remember the one who is the light, to remember my flaws. I will remember the loving Lord, the praiseworthy. I will remember Allah gratefully. I will remember Allah faithfully. This nasheed that I want to do, it's a little tricky. You know, most of you probably know it's a very popular nasheed, but it's a bit tricky. So please, if you have, for any reason, you have to leave the room, don't, because you might walk away with the wrong message. Okay? And I just love this nasheed. So every time I have students or people like me around, I always do this nasheed. Yousuf invited me to one of the Ryerson events, and I did it, over there. So, if you know, inshallah, join in. It would be such a pleasure to have you come along with me. I accept your gracious offer of come. It would be such a pleasure to have you come along with me. I accept your gracious offer of kindness and company. But as we walk along, young man, and as you help me with my load, I have only one request as we travel down this road. Don't talk to me about Muhammad. Because of him there is no peace and I have trouble in my mind. So don't talk to me about Muhammad. I know people staring at me. So this elderly lady, she's carrying something to her house, and this young man, he is, helping her out with, whatever she's carrying to her destination. Now she starts to complain. That man upsets me so, far much more than you could know. I hear of his name and reputation everywhere I go. Though his family and his clan once knew him as an honest man, he's dividing everyone with his claim that God is one. So don't talk to me about Muhammad. Because of him there is no peace and I have trouble in my mind. So don't talk to me about Muhammad. He's misled all the weak ones and the poor ones and the slaves. They think they've all found wealth and freedom following his ways. He's corrupted all the youth with his twisted brand of truth. Convinced them that they all are strong, giving them somewhere to belong. So don't talk to me about Muhammad. Because of him there is no peace and I have trouble in my mind. So don't talk to me about Muhammad. And as we walk along together, we will get along just fine. Thank you now, young man. You've really been so kind. Your generosity and smile are very rare to find. Let me give you some advice, since you've been so very nice. From Muhammad, stay away. Don't hear his words or emulate his way. And don't talk about Muhammad. You will never have true peace, and trouble is all you will find. So don't talk about Muhammad. And as we walk along together, we will get along just fine. So now their journey is coming to an end. Now before we part and go, listen to it very carefully. Now before we part and go, if it's alright, just the same, may I ask, my dear young man, who are you, what's your name? Forgive me, what was that? Your words weren't very clear. My ears are getting old, sometimes it's difficult to hear. It's truly rather funny, though I'm sure I must be wrong, 'cause I thought I heard you say, your name is Muhammad. Muhammad. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadun Rasulullah. Oh, talk to me, Muhammad. Because of you now I have peace, and you have eased my troubled mind. Oh, talk to me, Muhammad. So as I travel down life's road, I will get along just fine. As we travel down life's road, we will get along just fine. So at the end, it was actually Prophet Rasulullah who was helping the lady out, and she became Muslim. So, welcome back.
Not about Tom this time.
Yeah. Yousuf wrote poems exclusively for this event. Brand new poems that haven't been released. Okay, Yousuf Faroqi. We get a big hand for Yousuf Faroqi.
Asim, welcome. So we have a poet amongst us. It's hard to perform in front of. So this poem, when I was very young, I was probably 5-6 years old. I was sitting with my aunt. I was in the shower, and my aunt came from Afghanistan, and we were talking about poverty. And she said one story that I can never ever forget. And it's a very touching story. It's something that will bring a lot of people to tears. She said that they're just a few blocks away from where they used to live, there was a family, and they didn't have, obviously they were very poor and they didn't have too much food to eat. But there was this one instant where they didn't eat food for 3 days, and nobody knew about them because I think it's probably an African thing. They keep everything to themselves. So. And then many years later, I kept remembering that the images of the young children waiting for their father to come from work and have something for them. So this poem is called Eyes Full of Tears. So now the father, the market has closed and he's walking towards home. How will I face them walking home, nothing in his hands, empty? Expectation of a bite of bread they hold. If lucky, then some vegetables. Meat, they have forgotten the taste. Thinking about what to say to the young ones about another night of hunger, another night of stomach growling, and how to face the tear-wet eyes on her face. He says, it's dark, all dark, like my life, I can't go back now. The market has closed, and yet I'm still empty-handed. So when he reaches the door, they ran towards the door when he knocks on the old wooden door. Have you got something? And from his face turning pale, they know, and from his empty hands, they know he's got nothing. They know they have to spend another night hungry. Trust me, they know, and you don't. We don't. And she only has tears to put in the empty pot of blood, no soap left anymore. Why do you not scream when you hear this? And how can the hair in your body not stand when you hear this? And how can you not care? Have you gone to sleep hungry? Have you gone to sleep hungry? Do you know how it feels? This was their third night, and now they turn to the left, to the right, out of extreme hunger. Are you hungry, baby? And only tears flow from their eyes. Tomorrow I will bring you naan and kebab, just sleep tonight. But in his heart he knows they weren't even going to smell kebab. You promise? Yes, Bachim. Bachim means my son. You promise? Yes, Bachim. To the youngest son he says, drowned in the thoughts of another day, dark and gloomy like today, or perhaps a new day. Oh Lord, help us. We only seek your help. And so this is the life lived by my people, embracing sorrow, eyes full of tears, but they still stand. We still stand in hopes of a bright future. We believe. Do you believe? Thank you very much.
Okay, so next up we're gonna have Desmond Watts. Desmond is a double major in international studies here at UFT. He loves cricket, poetry, and meeting new people and hearing their stories. And he added this to his autobiography. Personally, I think my own story is pretty boring, but I don't think your story is boring. You do really cool work. So, anyway.
Good night, everyone. Are you all doing well?
Great.
All right, I just have 2 poems here for you tonight. The first one is called Dream Girl. I hope it kind of lightens the mood and hopefully makes you laugh a little bit. See, I used to think that I was a wise man, better than the average man. Well, up until that day. See, it was sometime last May. I had no idea what was coming my way. See, I was just walking down the street, had my music on, and I was bobbing to the beat, and then I looked up, and I saw her. A goddess, the perfect girl with a body that was out of this world. Her outfit showed me she had elegant style on her face. Man, it was this heart-stirring smile. And then the breeze just started blowing her hair. I couldn't help but stare. It was like the perfect picture. And well, guys, wouldn't you figure? She saw me and gave me an inquisitive look. Inside, I was so shook. But I looked up and managed to send a smile her way. And guess what? She sent a smile my way. And without delay, I began walking in her direction, hoping the affection of this picture of perfection. Yo, to me, it was as if the stars were aligned, as if our fates were intertwined, that this wasn't a chance meeting, but rather something of God's design. And every step closer to this cutie, I became more infatuated with her beauty. So much so that when I tried to take a seat, my heart, man, it skipped a beat. I was trying to keep my hands straight, but she was quickly becoming the object of my desire, mind going like, man, her body's hot like fire. Anyhow, her personality sweet like cinnamon. Yo, then she'd be the girl of my dreams. So many mornings, I was sad because things weren't as it seemed. The breathtaking girl that I held close to me became a fading memory, but now it's as if she stepped out of my dreams and into my reality. I was just sitting right there next to me. Then I just introduced myself and I just waited for this marvelous goddess to begin to speak. And man, guys, as she did, the perfect day became totally bleak. Why? Because her personality, man, it totally reads. See, I quickly discerned that I didn't find the girl of my dreams, but the girl of my nightmare, a girl on the outside would appear to have everything that I wanted, but inside despised everything I held dear. Man, I wanted to get away, but I didn't want to be rude, but I was getting so annoyed by her stuck-up attitude. Her words which just made me cringe. It was like someone stabbing me with a syringe. But like the worst part, somehow it seemed that I touched her heart, and she was like, opposites attract, and I'm like, no. No. But then I looked up to God, like, what, like, God, this girl is getting on my last nerve, testing every ounce of patience I had in reserve. Oh no, she did. She started talking bad about crickets. No. I was like, Lord, but he was like, no. I was like, Lord. He was like, no, but I'm like, Lord. He's like, no. But so in a cool, calm way, I managed to make a getaway. And then, but I looked up to him like, yo, why? Why did this happen to me? And then he opened my eyes to see that, well, wise men, they don't walk by sight. They walk seeking a deeper insight, seeking a girl truly deserving of a ring, a queen fit to sit beside a king. And this was just a lesson to remind me of that fable of old that says all that glitters really ain't gold. So even though looks are the first thing you see, maybe she won the latter things you judge. Thank you. Okay, and this next poem, it's just about an issue that's pretty dear to my heart. It's called Shattered Dreams. It's a late night, and I'm sitting on the transit, and I'm heading home. And guess what? I see this girl. Oh. Yeah. I see this girl, and on her face, and she has a smile that could light up the whole world. But as I'm looking at her, I realize that she reminds me of another girl. But when I saw this girl, she didn't have a smile on her face. See, she was crying. Actually, no, she was sobbing. These tears of pain, they just flowed down her cheeks like pouring rain. Because you see, this other girl, she doesn't ride the bus. She doesn't get her nails done, and she's probably never even heard of Facebook. See, she has polio and she can't walk. And that is only the beginning of her story. See, she grew up in a place called Goma, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Have you ever heard of it? Seems most people haven't. But yet still, as Anderson Cooper so eloquently reported, more people have died here than in Iraq, Darfur, and Afghanistan combined, but yet still the world acts as if it's blind to Congo's bloody history, blind to their continued misery, blind to her story. And when I saw her, she was in the hands of the only man she trusts, Dr. Desmond. See, to many women in the Congo, he's not just a doctor, he's a healer, he's a comforter, and he held her as she cried so many tears. But see, he's just a man. He can't stop those sudden fears of soldiers coming to rape her all over again. So many nights she would scream, but no one would come. It would just be another rapist and his gun. And those torture days of brutality still shape her current reality. The scars on her body, the wounds to her heart, the cuts to her soul. See, what happened to her truly was a merciless crime, but what's worse, in the Congo, this happens all the time. See, for her, there are thousands, no scratch that, millions more who had these monsters come and knock at their door and rape and abuse them day after day, night after night, week after week, and sometimes even month after month. And as I sit on the transit, my heart is heavy and I'm ready to cry because I know in this moment the world has turned its back and there's been another painful attack. In this moment, in this painful moment, the world has turned its back and there's been another painful attack. In this painful moment, another woman has made an unheard scream. In this moment, another teenage girl just sits with shattered dreams. See, I believe it was Barack Obama who said, change has come to America. But all that I just really want to know is when. When will it come to the Congo? Will it be when government corruption ends and soldiers stop raping and start learning to defend? Will it be when the world gets off its mighty hands and starts helping broken women to stand? But you see, the world continues to sit on standby. I cannot, no, I refuse to stand by. So I must write so you'll know more about their plight, so you'll know more about this injustice, so more Congolese women will receive justice. So world, here are their cries. Don't ignore their lives, don't ignore their pain. Please, don't let them do this to another girl like her again. No, let me say that again, so it goes beyond your brain and into your heart, because that's where real social justice starts. Don't ignore their pain. Please, don't let them do this to another girl like her again. Thank you.
So we have a lot of poets in the room. We also hold an annual poetry contest. It's called Verse versus Verse, and we get other universities on as well. So if you're interested, keep checking the site, check out Facebook, join us on Twitter. On Twitter, we're at keepingalal.com. And on Facebook, it's just keepingalal.com as well.
Now, last year we had it with McMaster, and this year we're going to have it with the university in the States. We'll release it when.
And last year's prize was $150. We also the winner of last year's Verse versus Verse competition for Read Up.
Yeah!
If you want to read any of the submissions from last year, they're found at www.poetry.com.
We have an author with us today, Asim. He just recently wrote a book called He Goes to School, and he's going to come up and recite some poetry, and he also has his book with him if anyone is interested. Café.
Check. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
On paper. How many poems can I recite? I wasn't told.
How many do you have?
How long are they?
Not that long. I've got a couple, but two in particular. Okay.
That's the question.
Sorry?
I said that's the question.
Yeah. I'm just trying to. I don't know what this is. No, I just wanted to say first of all, thank you very much to Keeping It Halal for hosting this opportunity here, this event tonight. So thank you for having me. And I'm going to recite 2 poems to you guys. But first, I just wanted to share something. I just wanted to share a message with you guys that I thought was pretty significant, especially with what's going on in the world right now in 2011. It's a very critical time, and I was at a conference 2 years ago, and some of you probably know this speaker. He's very renowned around the world. It's Tariq Ramadan. And I can't forget what he said. He actually said something that was profound, and he said something, and you know, in the Metropolitan Convention Center, everyone claps. So he said, don't clap here and be silent outside. Don't clap here and be silent outside. So that's the message I wanted to share with you guys tonight. Please don't clap here and be silent outside. This is the year of the people, 2011. And every one of your contribution, everyone's contribution is special. Your contribution is special. Don't let anyone tell you that your contribution isn't special. Okay, everyone started somewhere. All right? It's very, very important. It's not just about artists or anything like that. Even if you share a link on Facebook, that's a contribution. Please don't be silent, because your contribution is special and the time is now. 2011 was significant because it was the year of the people, when there was hardly justice and much evil. Democracy? What democracy? When the leaders got a mind of their own, filling their pockets with treasures unknown. Arab Spring occupied Wall Street. A revolution, not a hype. People can't sleep. Their futures stolen. Robbed by the rich. Generations will pay. Civil unrest. What do you expect us to say? From all of this, I draw an analogy. Like the revolution of the people all around the world, it's high time. It's high time we occupy ourselves. I won't go. I won't leave. Do what you want to do. Even if you evict me, I will come right back. I will sit in and protest against the vicious, cerebral policies you make. The new slogan is Occupy Myself. I cannot sit here anymore and let this all just happen to me, to my future, to my population. I'm scared. Yeah, I'm scared. But I have will. You see? Enough is enough. This is not a social experiment. A social experiment is one where you might think you know what the outcome will be. Not here. This is reality. The instant I was firm in my conviction to occupy myself, change was already set in motion. This is a point of reference which experiences after this, future generations of consciousness of my life will witness. I will occupy myself until I witness changes at the helm. Deep, long-lasting, firm, permanent. I owe it to myself. There is a state of urgency. This is a state of emergency. Yeah? I will lie in the shadows of the elite that control my psychological airspace, demanding change happen. Change happen now. And as my numbers grow, this internal revolution will become overwhelming, God willing. The oppressor can no longer hold me, bind me, mind me. New standards will be established, yet similar challenges will be faced. But now I can. Now I can. Now I can. I must occupy myself. Thank you. This is from the book. The book is on the table. Can I just flash that? Can you just pull one up, please? Just out of the thing. Pull one. Great. Thanks a lot. One thing I wanted to mention. Okay, so this is a book that I wrote. It's called Khadija Goes to School. First of all, I really want to big up Keeping It Halal for supporting this project. And there's one special person in the room, a star on your team, Rabia Coker, who believed in this project like before she even got the book. You know, she signed up on Facebook and on the Khadija Goes to School fan page, and I really admire people like her and other people who have believed in this work way before it even got to the point where it's at now, which is a little bit more visible. Just real quick, there's a couple of different, there's a lot of different moving parts in the book, and the point of the book is that, you know, it's about philosophy, it's about education, it's about identity. This book is my ambassador to the United States of America and to Canada and wherever else this book may go. Because this book shares identities. This book shares stories. You might think this looks like a kid's book, and even though it reads very simple, that children can relate to, it's very unusual. It opens right to left, first of all. This book is a tool, it's a bridge, it's a point of discussion. It's a bridge where we can meet and we can have discussions about identity. Like Khadija, she's a cool girl who's loving, who's loving life. And she doesn't look very, very negative as they've depicted some individuals in the media. And it's really, really it's a book that's saying, do we judge a book by its cover, right? So, because there's a lot of different aspects, a lot of poetry in here, there's a lot of messages in here, there's a lot of ideas and details in the graphics, but that's something you won't pick up unless you open the book. But that's how we talk about people. When you just see someone for a second, you just, oh, he's like this. You haven't opened the cover of that person, yeah, he's like this. 100% of the people when I was on tour thought this was a kid's book only, just by looking at the cover. But I mean, there's some stuff in here that no kid could ever, like there's a letter right there, and there's a lot of different things in the book. That's why I wrote the book. So that people can check themselves and ask questions. And so the book is about reanalyzing things that you think you know. It's okay to reanalyze things. It's okay to unlearn something that you've learned, because you might not know something that's totally true. It's a book about philosophy, poetry, and so I'm gonna read here's the poem at the end. There's a poem here as well. And this is about labeling. So this book is about anti-labeling. And it's a mainstream product, by the way. It's not just for a particular community, it's for all communities. There is no person in the history of this world who was ever uneducated, because such a person never existed. The word should be removed from the dictionary. How can so-and-so say someone is uneducated? Being human, you already know things. And being alive means you learn things. Does so-and-so not realize this? Can't people know things in different ways? Education doesn't follow standards. Rather, standards follow education. Being educated does not mean you know everything. Being educated does not even mean you know a lot of things. Being educated indicates you know some things. This is not bad. You only knew what you knew in the time you had. Being educated is not just following this one standard or that one standard. Learning isn't just for so-and-so. Learning is for everybody. Did learning stop when so-and-so's education stopped? So-and-so knows something, I know something. So-and-so is educated, I am educated. If so-and-so is educated in their way, let me educate myself in my way. If so-and-so applies what they know, whatever that is, they use what they have learned, they use their education, they help themselves. If I apply what I know, whatever that is, it's open. I use what I have learned, I use my education, I help myself. Allow me to learn things. This world is very vast. Allow me to learn things. Don't judge me so fast. So-and-so, you think you were educated? How much do you really know? Huh? So-and-so, you think you were educated? Where do you think you will go? This might be right. Break that stereotype. Uneducated is not a term. Re-educate, reconfirm. Even if you know one thing, if you use it, you'd be fine. So-and-so realized that education just ain't fine. It's not just for you. Because education is a tool. It's how it's applied. It's already innate. It's already inside. Sharpen the blade. Make it go wide. Now check this out. If they told you you were uneducated, you know they lied. One thing is for sure, there is no person in the history of this whole entire world who was uneducated, because such a person never existed. Thank you.
Give it up for Suhaib one more time.
Jazakallah khair to the keepingitall.com team for inviting me here, and especially on this, for remembering me for this event. And I do, look forward to coming to all the other events. So let me know. I'll just come to you.
Don't get lost next time.
Well, you guys have to stick to the venue, Okay, so this nasheed, again, one of my favorite nasheeds by Dawood Hornsby. Dawood Hornsby is still one of my favorite nasheed artists out there. I mean, even though he started music and all, but some of his previous work was really inspiring and really, amazing pieces. So this nasheed actually deals with hijab, and most of you know probably in Mississauga what happened a few weeks ago. A couple of days ago, all right. This lady, she was in proper full hijab, and someone snatched it out of her face. In Mississauga.
Niqab.
In this, yeah, niqab, yeah. So, I mean, it's, we say that, Europe has this problem, we don't have, but, there's still people who are unaware of the importance, or, unaware of the reason why it's there. So this nasheed just, explains a little bit about what it actually is. So do spread the word out, inshallah. They say, oh poor girl, you so beautiful, it's a shame that you cover up your beauty so. She just smiles and graciously responds reassuringly. This beauty that I have is just a simple part of me. This body that I have, no stranger has a right to see. These long clothes, the shawl hour, ensure my modesty. Faith is more essential than fashion. Wouldn't you agree? This hijab, this mark of piety, is an act of faith, a symbol for all the world to see. A simple cloth to protect her dignity. So lift the veil from your heart and see the heart of purity. They tell her, girl, don't you know this is the West and you are free. You don't need to be oppressed, ashamed of your femininity. She just shakes her head and she speaks so assuredly. You see the billboards and the magazines that line the checkout aisle with their phony painted faces and their airbrushed smiles. Well, their sheer coats and low-cut gowns, they aren't enough for me. You call it freedom, and I call it anarchy. And this hijab, this mark of dignity, is an act of faith, a symbol for all the world to see. A simple cloth to protect her dignity. So lift the veil from your heart to see the heart of purity. Lift the veil from your heart and see the heart of purity. Lift the veil from your heart and seek the heart of purity. Jazakallah khair.
Okay, Yousuf on.
Okay, so I'll just say 2 or 3. I had prepared for 3, so. Okay, so this one has another story. Do you guys remember leaving somebody that you love behind and then you have to move forward? I think everybody can relate to that. So hey, can you relate to that? Asim, how about you?
Yes, definitely.
Everybody left behind something that they love. Okay, so, and then there's struggles that come with it. It's very hard to let go of something or somebody that you love. So I was going through this stage, and then I wrote this poem called Struggling to Let Go. So this is how it goes. A lake of feeling has arisen within me. You come to my mind yet again. Not the soft feelings as before, but now different. Your thoughts, though, have lingered in my mind, in my heart. But no more the sun nor my sky. I have learned to live without this light. Not bright, but it brings on me night. Tears will fall when your thoughts call. Betrayal in my tongue, but mercy still in the heart. Never will I blame you, never will I ever blame you, but only mother, you played with me. But again, I played myself. Confused like the reader who reads this, it was never meant to be, and so these feelings and thoughts flee, flee, flee. Let me be where I used to be, a smiling boy. Let me live again a moment of joy. Flee. Let me be what I used to be, a smiling boy. Let me live again a moment of joy. Flee, flee, flee. I am already down on my knee. Let me prostrate and ask for relief from him for a brief while, but some rest to the soul, to this restless heart, and so that next time he can play it smart and follow his ways, and the suffering wouldn't have to be. How can I still wish for us to be one? How ignorant has this heart gone? Isn't this matter already done? Hasn't already time reached for dawn? How come I don't yawn? Why don't I from this matter forgone? I will. I am trying to. I will never stop into this feeling drop. But let me relive, gather myself, forget and forgive. In the struggle, this feeling will flee itself. Thank you very much. So that was the last piece. I want to thank Anas and Lauren team and keeping me halal for inviting us here, and I enjoyed my night.
Yeah, so thank you so much for coming out tonight, and also if you want to volunteer at events like these, or if you have ideas and want us to help you organize something, let us know as well. Just email us at inquiries@halal.com, and don't forget to check the website out every Saturday.
Alright, so you've been a fantastic crowd. We thank you very much for giving us your Friday evening, and we hope to see you at our other events.
Also, thank you to the artists.
Big thank you.
Saleh, Asim, Osama, it's really good to see.
Can we give a big thank you to our MCs, please? Very nervous about doing this, but from they did a very, very good job, so please, thank you.
Thanks,
I was saying, but that is really good. It feels really good to see such amazing talent in the Muslim community. We have so much that we can offer the world, so it's really dig inside of you and figure out what you want to do in life and do it.
have a good night.
Oh, there's a lot of coffee in the back. Please take it up. Thank you.
Yes, I can stop the screen.